Hello, everyone. Happy Monday.
Monday.
Happy tax day almost. If you
Ew.
are an American, usually it's the 15th, and we all got a little reprieve. But it's due tomorrow, so you really should be working on it today if you haven't already. I did it way ahead of time. I did it last night. So
Oh,
yeah, I was and I don't wait till the last minute. I
oh
wait
my
till the
God.
last 48 hours.
No, our accountant makes us turn it in early March.
Oh, you have an accountant.
Yes, very.
Yeah. You
It's
have
so
well, you
hard.
have a million, outlets that you write for, so
Right.
you must
And
have a stack of 1099s like this high.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like the same for my husband because he's in entertainment. So it would
yeah,
honestly, it's real. There's really no way getting around having to pay someone if you don't
yeah,
have like a set thing. So
yeah.
thank
Your
God.
your 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 Schedule C must look like War and Peace.
Right.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome, happy Monday. Happy Earth Week.
Yes.
Right? It's Earth Week.
Saturday, Earth Day, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll just say hello to some of our regulars who are hanging out in the chat. Vince joined us early to say happy Monday. He missed the live stream last couple weeks, but it's good to see you
Woohoo.
back
Welcome
live
back.
again. Good friend Michael, hello as always. Good to be back. Time for the podcast. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Blossom and Terry checking in from Derek's Corner. Welcome. Brian Gallant saying hello.
Ooh,
And Gene G.
welcome.
Jr., first time new viewer. We are always welcoming to new
Yeah.
viewers. Thank you for joining us. Hope you'll make this a regular part of your Monday noontime schedule. All right, we got some people in here, so let us kick this
Yes.
thing off in 3, 2, and go.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 187 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's been going on in our own lives. Carly, I ask you first. I haven't been to a theme park in a week. I have been sitting in my office typing away on my unofficial guide, upcoming editions. So I've got nothing interesting to say. So Carly, tell us all what you've been up to, because I know you've been on some adventures this week.
Yes, a lot of adventures. So I've been waiting for this trip for months because it was delayed a little bit. I went to the first theme park in the Caribbean. It is Kathmandu Park in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. There's a Kathmandu in Majorca, Spain, which I haven't been to, but this is kind of the first in a new phase that they're going into where they have like a hotel connected. It's an all-encompassing experience. It was amazing. There's several e-ticket attractions. My favorite was a dark ride. It kind of was like Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man meets Ratatouille with, physical set pieces. Wow. And it was actually done by the designers behind Spider-Man. So these are like high level, what you'd expect from like a world-class theme park. Just it's a micro park. You know?
Yeah, I understand this is the folks from Falcons.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember every year I go and see their booth at IAPA, and they've been involved in so many big projects, big IPs for major parks, and this is kind of like them getting to design a whole park, and it's an original IP. I guess there's a Yeti involved. I know there's a Yeti character that's real popular in their Spain park.
I love the theming. So it's the hidden realms of Kathmandu. There's a Yeti. It's kind of like that spirit of adventure mixed with a little bit of steampunk. There's like a robot in there. There's kind of like this adventurer guy, who's an explorer. The storylines are really, really, really interesting. The atmosphere itself is the level of immersive theming that you expect from like a Disney.
Wow.
So Kathmandu, the entire park, they said it was inspired by like Nepal. So it was very Animal Kingdom-ish vibes. Very well done. So there's a few attractions, the dark ride. My favorite was actually, I was surprised, was a blaster shooting game, but you're in a theater that doesn't move, but your seat moves.
Oh,
Yes. So that was
okay.
actually one of my favorite. I love like competition games. I love like
Hmm.
Men in Black. So, that's my style. Wonderful park. The attached property was probably the nicest Caribbean resort I've ever stayed in.
Wow.
It's family friendly, but like to me, it felt like luxury. It
Hmm.
was really, really nice. You could definitely tell the European company, like Malia, that's behind it, made sure it had that level of excellence. And then you have, the attractions and technology from Falcons, and it was amazing. You have the beach right there, so it was kind of like all these different little vacations in one place. So if you want to go to the
Hmm.
park for a few hours, you go to the park. If you want to just relax by the pool, you go to the pool, go to the beach. So I kind of like that. It just felt like totally different vibes. The park itself was really interesting. So anyone can go into the park. You just can't go on the
Okay.
attractions without purchasing them. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
it's like the old e-ticket kind of thing where
Yes.
you can walk around and see it
Mhm.
and just pay per
So
ride.
their pillar is live entertainment. So
Hmm.
everywhere you go, there's live entertainment,
Oh, wow.
bands. So it kind of felt like I was in a Disney Springs, because there's restaurants and food
Hmm.
trucks and bars, a Disney Springs with maybe even more hyper concentrated live entertainment, plus there was attractions.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
great model.
It really, really, really was cool. It's open till 1 a.m. on the weekends.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was just so different than anything
I
I've.
am not real familiar with Punta Cana. Usually when I go to the Caribbean, it's on a cruise ship.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's really a cruise port destination. So this is
No,
a place that you would have to fly to
correct. Yeah.
particularly for
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, that was my first time going to the
Mm,
Dominican Republic. Definitely, it's like that all-inclusive thing, and where I stayed, the park was included with it, but you
yeah,
can also just purchase a ticket outright.
that sounds great. I'll put that on my bucket list of
It
places to
was
take a vacation
It was
someday.
it was relaxing. I never come back from the theme park vacation and be like, "Oh, I actually don't feel like I wanna
Don't
die,"
feel stressed. Yeah, I mean, the scale of it is built so it's not exhausting like a Disney
Mhm.
park or something
Right.
like that.
I'm, like, really into this whole micro park trend. I just think it's so fascinating, especially with Universal.
I would say we've got a lot of them coming in the next few years. So
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think it's, like, it'll be a good indicator of what, how other people can kinda, like, flex their creative muscles, but on a budget that's like this compared to,
hmm hmm
this, but,
you don't need $17 billion. So
right, and
yeah,
so I know, like, people, like, should I go on a theme park vacation or an all-inclusive vacation? This was, like, both.
yeah,
You
best of both worlds.
It was the best of both
That sounds
worlds, so
great.
it's so different, so fun. I wanna go to Mallorca now to check that one out.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and I am very jealous of your trip. So, without any further ado, let's just jump into the news. All right, we're going to start out with some sad news for fans of old school Islands of Adventure attractions. Poseidon's Fury, the last remaining attraction at the Lost Continent, is going to close permanently on May 10th to make way for quote unquote new experiences. This is, I would say it's one of the park's last original attractions. But it's not really an original attraction because the original attraction only lasted a year or so
Right.
before it was revamped. Most of the same effects, same basic idea. But this is a walkthrough attraction, kind of a live special effects show where you don't sit down. You walk from room to room, and there's mist screens and lasers. It opened here around the same time as Phantasmic opened over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, or back then it was MGM. So it was kind of a lot of the same sort of effects. And you're caught up in a battle between Poseidon, the Greek god, and Lord Darkanon, who I'm not sure what kind of god he is. Maybe you've got
Not a theme
a
park.
bad action figure CGI. I don't know. But I've got a special place in my heart for this show, for the performers. A lot of great talent has
Mhm.
played Taylor in there over the
Yep.
years. It was a good stepping stone for a lot of people who went on to other things. And so the last day is May 9th. Will you get to see it? Are you sad to see it go?
I mean, I am, because of just there's really nothing like it. But this just felt like we already knew it was happening. So it was just like, I could already see it happening. You know, it was closed for so long during COVID. I don't know. Change is always good, I guess.
Honestly, I mean, it was kind of shocking. It was closed for so long after COVID, and
Right.
when it came back, they did invest quite a bit of time and money refurbishing it. So it was kind of surprising that they would leave it closed that long and then put the effort to reopen it, and then like a year and a half or so later, now
Right.
it's closing. It seems like a lot of time and expense and effort for, I don't know.
Yes. But
Uh,
Universal's doing so much cool stuff. So
they are,
it
and
made me excited for what could possibly replace it.
yes, and there's lots of speculation online. My personal fingers are crossed for something involving Legends of Zelda. I think that would be a great addition. But we will see. In the meantime, in addition to that closing, also on May 10th, we are losing another attraction right next door. Wizarding World of Harry Potter is going to shut down the nighttime lights for an extended refurbishment. They have not announced when it will reopen or what will be different when it comes back. But I'll point out that over in Hollywood, they have permanently retired their version of the nighttime lights. They are only doing the dark arts show, which was originally just for Halloween, and they are doing that with drones once again. I know there's been a lot of rumors and speculation about drone activity at Universal Orlando, so maybe those things are connected. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. It is cool, but let's see what they have planned next, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be really awkward to have the Lost Continent be this land on a map that is just a restaurant and a talking fountain.
You get a kebab, you got enough, you know?
I mean, and it also, it kind of makes me sad. Islands of Adventure also used to have the Sinbad stunt show. It used to have way back once upon a time, used to have stuff in the Toon Lagoon amphitheater. There used to be live entertainment which would help soak up crowds. It was indoors, so it was a place you could go when it rained. There's not a lot left in terms of live indoor entertainment in that park now.
No, it is definitely void.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever redevelop that whole area. One, please keep Mythos in some form. Two,
yes, they will
keep the live actors. And three, give us something to do when it rains in that park.
Yes. So my go-to is I just go to Confisco's because they have that upstairs Navigators Club for annual pass
for
holders.
annual pass holders. That's a great choice. Yes. All right. Moving on, another closure. This time at Disneyland in California. We knew it was coming. We got the date finally. May 31st. Splash Mountain will be closed.
Yes. Obviously, we knew this was coming. They didn't announce a date because Indiana Jones was closed for a lengthy refurbishment. And I was like, we can't have a closed Toontown and a closed Indiana Jones and then close this. And, what do you know? Toontown opens, Indiana Jones opens, and now we have Splash Mountain closing. So
yeah, it was a little rough there going into spring break with, 3 e-tickets down. That would not work.
No.
So now Splash Mountain's last day is going to be the 30th, closed as of the 31st. And we got a few little details,
tidbits
about what we will see when Tiana's Bayou Adventure takes over that space sometime in late 2024. Mama Odie will be part of the attraction, and she will be one of at least a couple dozen animatronics that will be part of the ride. I know a lot of people were worried this was all going to be screens, but no, we were promised there will be new animatronics, which I think is really important because
absolutely.
This was the home to, I think, the most number of animatronics in a single attraction at Disneyland, mostly because they all came out of the old Carousel Theater, the old America Sings ride.
Yes, That is
And
just a good deep dive if you want to if you
oh
can't
yeah,
sleep one night and you want to get real nerdy, look that up because it's just a
yes,
good story. But yeah, that I think the Mama Odie was the biggest part of this announcement, because we were kind of waiting to hear if that would happen. She's going to be there, so should be exciting.
yep. And in addition to that, we have a few other little details. Along with Mama Odie and Tiana, we're going to see Prince Naveen, Louis, Adora, Charlotte, Big Daddy, the King and Queen of Maldonia, and Prince Ralphie. And many of those will be reprised by the original actors from the films doing the voices, plus some brand new original characters.
And music.
And new music.
always
Yes.
exciting.
We knew we were going to get some songs from the film, but we're also going to get some brand new songs. So I always love when attractions have songs written just for them.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I think the most important part of this is that inside the queue, we
Yes.
are going to smell beignets being
Oh,
prepared. So
yes, that was really
I
exciting.
hope they are working hard on that artificial beignet scent. Or they could just have the bakery for the beignets they sell in the park, right there in the queue, so you could just smell the real thing. That I think would be brilliant.
Now I want to go to the shop, that's already open and get those beignet ears, the beignet
Yes,
fly purse. There's going to be some really good Disney bounding, I think, when this opens.
absolutely. Bound as a beignet. Well, so if you want one last chance to ride Disneyland's original Splash Mountain, give a call to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, because May 31st clock is ticking.
Yes.
And until then, we've got some video preview from Disney D23 Expo, preview of the ride model. Get you excited for what is coming late next year. All right, next in other Disney news, this week coming up, as we mentioned, it's Earth Week. And on Earth Day, April 22nd, we are going to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Animal Kingdom. And gosh, that makes me feel old, because I was there on opening day of Animal Kingdom, and I was there on the 15th anniversary. And it's hard to believe how much time has flown.
Right. When I saw that, I was like, gosh, because I feel like Hollywood Studios, I remember seeing the preview pictures and stuff for that. And I'm like, wait, 25 years already? This is crazy. But that means there's a lot of fun, special things happening, merch, food. They're doing a very special Tree of Life starting on April 22nd. So I think that will be something to, all the vloggers and bloggers will be there, to catch that.
Yes, the park opens at 8 a.m. on the 22nd, which is their official anniversary, and I would expect there to be a big crowd of super fans there with their cameras. I think the last big anniversary that I attended, Jane Goodall, who's the famous primatologist who's been associated with the park, he was there and made a little presentation.
That's really cool.
And that was really neat. So who knows? They have not announced any details of what's going to happen with that, but they have announced that starting on that day, Moana finally is going to have a permanent meet and greet. It's crazy to think that she's been such a big hit. She moves a lot of merch.
She does. And you see how many little kids do you see dressed up as Moana?
Exactly. And there was such a great reaction from fans when they announced that a Moana area might be coming to Animal Kingdom. So it's about time. She's finally going to have her own meet and greet in the park. So that's going to be in Discovery Island, probably somewhere around the tree. We'll have to find out on the 22nd exactly where that spot is.
Oh, definitely. And then also there's going to be other additional character experiences from 16th through 23rd. One of my favorites is the characters that float along Discovery River. I love just hanging over the bridge and waving, and they're dancing. So they're saying there's going to be some unique characters. So not sure what that means because they haven't elaborated, but I hope they're in some good costumes because
I hope they're going to dig some fur out of the archives, and maybe we'll see some people who haven't been around since the early days of the park. I think they should put the cast of the old Tarzan Rocks show out there.
That would be really
That
cool.
would be great. You can also invest for eBay in some 25th anniversary merchandise that's actually going to drop the day before on the 21st. With stuff like a new Spirit jersey with Kevin from Up, and a limited edition Earth Day 2023 pin with Bambi and Flower. That one you can pick up right now.
Yes. And then, of course, it wouldn't be an anniversary without all of the food and drinks.
You took the words out of my mouth.
They kill us with all these specialty.
Oh my God.
They just dropped all the halfway to Halloween stuff. And I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed. The one that I'm excited about for the food and drink anniversary offerings at Animal Kingdom, Dawa Bar, obviously, is like one of the best little gems of a bar at any of the
Yes.
parks. There is a honeybee citrus blonde ale. Not like a huge beer girl, but that sounds good. That sounds really refreshing.
That does sound good. And I really love Nomad Lounge and Tiffin's. And they've got a special gin and bitters cocktail and a Szechuan noodles. So
that sounds really, really good.
Yeah,
and then
they got a lot of stuff.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of money celebrating. One thing you won't have to spend a lot of money on if you got the add-on for your annual pass or whatever is the photo ops. They've got some limited time photo pass lenses with Wally and Eve. You can get them added to your magic shot. And they've also got an in-person photo op created from recycled materials. That's pretty neat.
Very, very interesting. And then one of my favorite things, I love Animation Academy at
Oh, yeah.
DCA. It's like I feel like an artist, even though I have no skills in that world whatsoever. But they are going to be rolling out special characters in addition to the ones they normally do at the animation experience at Conservation Studios. And this will be throughout April. So in addition to like the normal roster of the characters they have, we're going to have Dumbo, Tigger, Simba, etc. It's just so much fun. If you haven't done it, do it. It seems like, what am I going to? This is really cool.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I also point out in my Disneyland book, because the one that's at Animation Academy at California Adventure is very similar. It is such a hidden gem. It's one of those things that people are like, this isn't a ride, this isn't a show, what do I want to do this for? And then they do it once and they're like, oh my God, I have to do that again.
I know.
Even if you are I am a terrible, terrible drawer. I can, I just don't have but the artists walk you through it. And by the time you get to the end, you have something that actually looks halfway decent, even if you are totally incompetent.
I have created some like really good ones. I'm not an artist at all.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to like Trader Sam's. I'm like, did you see what I made? No, but they would like really coach you through it because these are experienced, legit artists. So
and one thing I've noticed that the one in California, they have a much bigger roster of different characters that they go through every day, like tons and tons of different characters. It's a much shorter rotation usually in Orlando, but this time of year, they're adding in all these extra characters. So some of these characters that you don't normally get to draw here in Florida, definitely worth checking out. If you've got a kid who's a budding artist, this is seriously one of those things that they could do 2-3 times in a day and be happy.
Right. And it's good to sit down.
Yes, and it's air conditioned, it's indoors, and God knows Animal Kingdom does not have enough shade and air conditioning, so definitely a place you can recharge. All right, let us head on the other side of the planet to Tokyo, where the new Warner Brothers studio tour, The Making of Harry Potter, is debuting on June 16th. It's the first Warner Brothers studio tour in Asia. And fans of the Wizarding World are going to want to check this out.
It is just crazy how many experiences are opening with Harry Potter, and stuff keeps coming every single week. It seems like we're announcing some new touring exhibit. This is like one of those franchises that like it will never quit. It just gains more speed.
Well, I mean, if Warner Brothers has their way, they definitely won't quit. I mean, we've just got news that there's going to be a TV series remaking all of the books, and it looks like, from the images that they've used to promote it, it looks like they're going to keep the aesthetic of the movies in terms of like the design, like the design of Hogwarts Castle. It still looks like the Hogwarts Castle that we know, but all new actors in the roles. So We'll see how that goes over with the fans. But in the meantime, if you want to celebrate the original films, that's what this studio tour is about. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the making of the existing Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts films. And it is the largest indoor Harry Potter attraction anywhere in the world right now.
Right.
With some exclusive sets you can only see there.
Definitely. Have you done the one in London? I haven't.
I
but-
have not. I have never been to London. If I do, this will definitely be on my list. And it does look like this recreates a lot of the
Mhm.
environments that they feature in London. The Great
Right.
Hall,
Mhm.
Platform 9 3/4, Diagon Alley. Some of the things that we see here in the parks. But the parks, it's all been changed and adapted to work as a theme park. These are trying to be very faithful to what was seen on screen.
Absolutely. Yeah. This looks really cool. Again, it looks very similar to the one in London, but
Mhm.
obviously much larger.
Mhm.
I'm sure they're going to be moving in the masses of people with the size and scope of this.
Now, it's the wording of this is a little interesting to me. Obviously, the films were not shot in Tokyo, and I believe that what they have in London is a lot of the authentic sets actually
Right.
used for filming. Here, it talks about how the sets were handcrafted by filmmakers using the same methods and techniques from the movies, as opposed to being the actual sets from the movies. So the sets are replicas, but I imagine that there's got to be so many props. There's got to be so many, multiple wands and things that some of the props and the costumes, I imagine, were probably film used. Maybe
Right.
a mix of film used and recreations.
Absolutely. I mean, and these movies were all made in like a different day and age. Like
Mhm.
6 years ago, they didn't preserve any filming costumes and props. It was like thrown
Mm.
out. So I'd imagine that Warner Brothers has like a warehouse
Oh
and
yeah,
probably at least preserved a lot of it. So
yeah.
yes, there will be replicas and whatnot, but I'm assuming there's going to be a good deal of legit stuff.
Well, some of the things that you're going to get to see is Harry's flying broomstick, the purple night bus,
Mhm.
and pensive used by Dumbledore
Ooh.
and Harry in the films. You also get to see the giant miniature. I guess it's a bigature of Hogwarts Castle that was used from VFX shots. And most importantly, you have a place where you can buy magical treats and butterbeer outside of the theme parks. I understand that they use the same recipe at the tours that they do at
Ooh.
the theme parks. So someone has to taste test that and let us know if it tastes the
Yes.
same.
I mean, we know how much the Asian audience loves theme parks,
Mhm.
love Harry Potter. This is going to be, I'm sure, a roaring success.
And I'm always shocked when I read about the prices of attractions in
Oh my God.
Japan and see how amazingly reasonable. Adult tickets start at about $47. Kids tickets at about $39 to $29. I mean, that's half of what it would be if it was in Florida.
Right.
So you must book tickets in advance. Don't just fly to Tokyo and show up at the
No.
door. You want to go to wbstudiotour.jp/en for information in English. Or I'm sure MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can
Yes.
help you plan that tour.
This is a travel agent trip for sure.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I just had someone contact me about planning a trip, and I was like, just talk to a travel agent. Don't try to book it yourself. It's
Right.
really, really worth it. And it doesn't cost you a penny. All right. Next up, we're heading from Japan to Canada, where the world's first Tundra Twister, quote unquote, flat ride is coming to Canada's Wonderland. And I know they call this a flat ride, but it looks anything but flat to me. Oh my goodness. We talked about that Serengeti swing that they opened
Mhm.
at
Busch
at
Garden.
Busch Gardens, and this looks like they took one of those and then slapped a second spinning ride onto the end of it. Wow, this one
This
looks
is
a
intense.
serious lunch liberator, that's for sure.
I'll definitely gladly go up and look at it, but I don't know. Theron said he loved the one at Busch Garden, so
Yep.
maybe
Yeah,
this will
yeah,
be
he
fun.
did. Well, this one is a giant, world's first 300 360-degree spinning swing ride. It's going to be installed in the Frontier Canada area of the park, and it will spin, twist, and flip you upside down 154 feet in the air at 46 miles an hour. And I can't even imagine what the G-forces are going to be when it hits the bottom of that swing. Like that little animated GIF there is making me ill.
Same. I get
I need to scroll up. So take that off
I
the
was
screen.
like, please scroll. Please scroll. But no, it's an exciting time for the park. It's owned by Cedar Fair. They're putting a lot of work into things. They're adding an 18th roller coaster. 18. That's
Yes.
crazy. Snoopy's Racing Railway, Family Coaster, Launch Coaster. They're doing a lot there. Have you been to Canada's Wonderland?
I have not. And someday, hopefully, I'll make a trip up there. Their season starts on May 5th. And they've got more than 200 attractions at the park. So it sounds like it could be worth a trip.
Yes, I'm trying to. I have concert
I
tickets.
can't even look at that. I can't even look
I
at
know.
that animation. Every time I scroll past it, I just feel a little. Oh,
I know. I mean, I'm not going to go on it. I mean, there's no way. That would just be a recipe for disaster. But no, I have concert tickets in Toronto in July.
oh,
But
okay.
we haven't been able to get flights yet because they're just out of control. But if I do, I am going to plan a little day to go here because this has been like high up top of my theme park bucket list for a little while now. And
Mhm.
people say it's amazing. It's beautiful. They said it's the most beautiful of the Cedar Fair parks.
That's saying a lot.
Things, yeah. So would love
Okay.
to explore here.
Well, you will have to make the trip and report back.
Yeah.
All right. I added this one to the list. Late breaking. As of the 15th, Jumanji: The Labyrinth has opened at Gardaland Resort in Italy. And this is, not one of those European resorts a lot of people talk about. People talk about Disneyland Paris or Efteling or Europa. But this one in Italy has been stepping it up first with a Jumanji dark ride, and now they have opened a Jumanji walkthrough experience based on the blockbuster Sony Pictures Entertainment film franchise. And I just love these
No one
Earthstad, characters.
Yes.
I love the kind of slightly skinny dude they got playing Dwayne The Rock
Dwayne
Johnson.
The Rock.
It's like they found someone who was bald, and that's about it. Is that good enough?
He's working it. He's working it.
But the attraction itself looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
You get to explore a series of environments. You enter through this green vortex and explore a mirror maze and a jungle labyrinth. And I love those kind of things. I love like the walk through Alice's Labyrinth in Disneyland Paris and other kind of walk-through attractions like that.
You would have loved the one at Kathmandu. There was one.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, it was multi-rooms and there was someone with you, and it was that sense of urgency, like on Rise of the Resistance. And I just love that because I feel like, run, you gotta go. It's something special about that. And no, this looks really cool. It's crazy to me because, like you said, we hear so much about these other parks, but I think I'm most interested in what they're working on right now. There's a lot of cool stuff. And isn't there like a section of the hotel that's also Jumanji rooms and stuff? I think we had discussed that.
Yeah, I think we've talked about yeah, they've really been stepping it up. Tickets also at this park are very reasonable. Starts at around 39 euros, which is about $43. And there's some videos. We've actually got a video on our YouTube channel showing you a bit of that dark ride, which for a smaller park, they did a pretty nice job on it.
Right. No, it looks really cool. Definitely on the list.
So for more information about this park, you can go to gardaland.it/en for their English language website. And for our last piece of news, adults are going to get a chance to glow with the foam, I guess, during a nighttime foam party coming to the Island H2O water park in Kissimmee.
Yes. If you are you a foam party fan?
I think I've probably aged out of my foam
Right.
party days, unfortunately. But if you're a little younger than me, and you like getting sudsy, and drinking some adult beverages, which is always a great combination,
Yes.
this is
And
going to take
flattened.
place on April 29th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Leave the kids at home. Um, you can swim and sip the night away. It's going to be an exclusive after hours party with short wait times, DJs playing music, and poolside drinks and food.
No, this sounds so fun because a lot of times in the summer in Orlando, it's so humid at night. Like I get hotter at night sometimes. You
Uh
can
huh.
just feel that stench in the air. And to go on a nice, to swim or do something, it's like the perfect time to do so.
Yep. This is definitely an interesting way to cool down. I just wonder what happens to all that foam. Like, does it just all break down by the morning and is gone?
They just come
Uh,
in with big, like, what do you call that?
Spray it
Power
down, power
washer.
wash it down. Wow. Well, okay, so it's exclusive to guests 18 and older, and right now they are selling early bird tickets for $25.
It's a good
Um,
deal for an after
yeah,
hours event.
yeah, and if you're a season pass holder, you can go for $20. Otherwise, the regular admission is going to be $30, and you can pregame the event at Margaritaville's Promenade at Sunset Walk, which has got all sorts of bars and restaurants, including a Fat Tuesdays.
Yes, I was excited about this because, we have the Fat Tuesday kiosk at City Walk and
Mhm.
whatnot, but the last time I'd been to like a walk-in Fat Tuesdays was South Street Seaport, or no, I think South Street in Philadelphia has that
Oh wow!
walk-in. Um,
Yeah, I've only seen them as walk-up windows and
yeah, so I would love to.
bars,
I
never
haven't been to
an actual
Promenade since
indoor
that
one.
opened, but
All right. Well, if the idea of being in a giant bath with lots of other drunk strangers appeals to you, uh,
perfect.
head to island h2owaterpark.com right now, and you can purchase tickets for this event. And I got to say, the last time I think I was in foam like that was when they filled up Toon Lagoon with that
HHN.
for Treeks and Foons. Yeah, back in, what was that, 20 years ago almost?
I I remember
That's
that
going way back.
vividly, and I think of it all the time. Like, I don't know why I was like, did I ever have, like, a weird
Oh
memory
yeah,
of
yeah.
being in foam in
One of
Islands
those
of
Mandela effect things. Like, did
Yeah.
that really happen? Yes,
Yes.
it
Oh,
happened. It once.
oof.
All right. So before we get into our big story of the week, it is time for us to hear a brief word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
All right, our main attraction, and I know some folks in our chat were happy to talk about this week.
Mhm.
Disneyland After Dark Pride Night is debuting in June. This is the first ever official Disneyland LGBTQ plus event to be held in the park. They have had gay days events throughout the years, which were unofficial events held by
Mhm.
groups. But I think this is the first time that Disneyland themselves has, had an official after hours event like this.
Yes, absolutely. The logo and everything looks a lot like Disneyland Paris did one last year, and
Yes,
if you
Disneyland
followed
Paris has done
along,
them.
it looked out of control, like the best after hours event ever with the parades, the
Mhm.
lights, and everything. So when I heard about this, I was like, oh my God, I feel like they're going to blow it up just like Disneyland Paris did. This is exciting news. After hour events are insanely popular at Disneyland Park. So this is great. And, a lot of people are stoked.
Absolutely. Like all of the Disneyland after hours or the Disneyland after dark events, you get themed entertainment. You get Disney characters wearing special costumes. You get one-of-a-kind photo opportunities and special menu items and merchandise. I don't believe there's any attraction overlays that they've come up with, but I know that there will be rainbow lighting and DJs. This will certainly have some great dance parties. And you will have an exclusive opportunity to take pictures with the Fab Five and their friends dressed up in rainbow pride costumes.
Yes, I was very happy that, companies do like feeble attempts at doing something and they just slap like a rainbow on something. So I'm happy that the costumes are not like so cliche, like they actually really put effort and time into it. They're really adorable. And it's not just like Mickey with a rainbow on him, because that just feels so, constructed. And of course, with this event, you'll get your mix in, which I love at Disneyland
Yes.
events. So you can go in 3 hours before, so you don't need to get a day ticket. So this is like perfect if you're on a trip and you just want to maybe like hit downtown Disney for lunch, sleep in, pool, and then get to the park for when you can mix in.
Yeah, I for the unofficial guide, I've done some analysis of, the price per hour of what these events work out versus buying a regular day ticket. And you are paying a few dollars more per hour, because you're getting 3 hours in the park before the event starts, and then the event itself runs from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. You put that together, you divide it up. It's more expensive than spending a full day in the park. However, the difference is they don't run Genie Plus and Lightning Lane during these events. So the standby lines, first, it's already fewer people in the park. And most of the people are there who are more interested in the photo ops and, getting a meet and greet than riding a ride.
Right. You
can knock out a lot of rides in the evening if that's your priority.
Because if you are there to really take advantage of all like the food and entertainment, which it's really kind of impossible to do that, but you're probably not going to be riding rides.
Honestly, you have to
the end.
You have to pick your battles with this. If you are focused on characters, then you're going to see characters. If you're focused on trying the food, then but you got to pick your battles at these things.
Oh, I like Oogie Boogie Bash. I plan my tactic like down to a T of what I'm doing because there's just so much. And it's like you have to know like, oh, maybe it's better to go to this time parade because of this. Same deal with this. I think I'm mostly excited for the country line dancing inside the Golden Horseshoe.
Yes. The Golden Horseshoe does not get enough attention these days, especially since there isn't a good regular show in there anyway. It's not like the days when there's Billy Hillbillies when we're in there.
You
all
got
the
a
time.
little piano man in there.
Yeah, but it's not the same. So it's great to have a real draw in there. Also, dance clubs. You're going to have an Ohana dance party over in Tomorrowland Terrace with Stitch, and a Pride Night dance club by the Rivers of America. They specifically call out Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones Adventure, and Big Thunder Mountain that are attractions that are going to be open. There are exclusive snacks for the party. There's a chocolate almond churro in New Orleans Square, a spiced beef potato loaded bites at Rose Red Tavern, and a berry cheesecake funnel cake at Stage Door. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, Disneyland knocks it out of the park with all of their limited time and seasonal offerings, and I'm sure these are going to be just as good.
Ticket sales for this, if you are listening we record this live and you're a Magic Key holder, tomorrow, the 18th, is when you can purchase these. They're going to go on sale at 9 a.m. Pacific, and I'm sure they'll crash the server as always. General public, you've got on 4/20 at 9 a.m. You can start buying your tickets. Limit 8 per person. And there are no discounts on these. Sorry, annual or Magic Key holders.
Right. This is gonna sell out.
Oh yeah. This is gonna go real quick.
This is gonna be one of those, like, the first year Oogie came back after COVID. It was like a 6-hour queue I waited in. I feel like it's probably gonna be that or even more intense because this is again the first of its time for Disneyland Park. Yes.
They have really doubled down on these Disneyland After Dark events. at least in Disneyland Park, the thing that I did notice is Villains Night, which I attended
Mhm.
when they did it last time, has not come back to the schedule. And they really haven't done any of these after dark events in DCA.
Right.
So, I'm wondering if Villains Night is dead and they're just going to concentrate on Oogie Boogie. We also haven't heard anything about a Merriest Nights coming back.
Right.
The Christmas hard ticket event only
Mhm.
was 1 year, and it did sell pretty well, but they have not talked any about bringing it back.
Right. I
But
like the way they do this after dark
mhm,
series because it's like maybe a couple nights, different themes. You have that throwback night, princess night. I think it works for the Disneyland audience as
mhm.
opposed to doing like one event that's through a stretch. Oogie Boogie Bash is different because that is, that's like the crown jewel to me of a Disneyland event. But I love the way they do these kind of one-offs.
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you are a visitor to the parks during the time that any of these after dark events are happening, check the calendar. If you are not planning on attending one of these events, you probably want to go to the other park or have a park hopper on that day,
Right.
because the Disneyland's going to close early and it's going to get a flood of people coming in the mix-in the evening. So, you probably don't want to do your only Disneyland day on that day.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, that just about brings us to the end of yet another
Yeah.
chapter in the Attractions podcast. But before we go, we want to thank, as always, our sponsor, MEI and Mousefan Travel. And once again, I want to remind everyone, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating on Spotify. It really helps us get the word out. If you want to find more coverage from all of us and Attractions Magazine on the interwebs, you can find me at the UG Series on Twitter, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com. Carly, where can everyone find you?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly and on Twitter at Carly Caramana.
All right. And you can always find the entire Attractions Magazine team for you 24/7 at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, at youtube.com/Attractions Magazine, and at Attractions on TikTok. Until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We'll see you again next time. Bye.